how to buy tax liens on land. That's what we're going to cover in this video. This is probably one of the most overlooked areas in the tax lien and deed area. You got low startup costs. All of these things are the great reason why you want to do land. And we got a lot to dig into on this one. In this video, we're going to show you what to look for, what's the difference between a fully improved and non-fully improved, and what are all the things. The exit strategies are what you're going to love. Stick around to the very end. I've got some things on some brand new stuff that's out there on the internet that really make this a very profitable strategy. So let's dig into it right now. Now, before we get into that, you know the drill. If you have any questions, type those questions in. I personally answer those, as I've told you before. Subscribe, like, love, heart, all the different things. Just make a goofy face, I don't care. But let's have some fun together. So let's talk about buying land with tax lien certificates. One of the first things you need to understand is in the beginning, before there were cell phones, when I had to walk to the county uphill both ways, in the snow, barefoot, just to get tax lien lists out there. Okay, I did land. Okay, why? Because the entry point was a lot less. You're gonna have a lot less upfront cash on a piece of property than you are gonna have one with a structure on it. That's just the bottom line. I didn't own a house. I'd never owned a house when I started doing this 30 years ago. I'd been a renter at that point, so I didn't know about fixing up properties or doing any of that stuff. So again, there was that factor involved. So anytime you're looking at a tax lien list, we're going through there, we're finding 6 tax lien states, 6 tax deed states, and all the different counties and everything else on that. We're gonna make all that happen, right? As I'm getting this list, if I'm on the computer, if I've got a physical list, I'm thumbing through it real quickly. What I'm looking for is parcels. So in other words, if I find a subdivision and let's say there's 30 parcels in there, they're going to all have sequential parcel numbers. They're going to have similar values and similar tax amounts. So it'll stick out like a sore thumb. There won't be all these goofy numbers on there, 15,000, 2,000, 3,000. There'll be same numbers over 15 for the whole page. So as soon as you see those, set those aside. That's going to be your little candy for a little later on. Probably one of the bigger mistakes I see beginning and novice investors, they forget to look at what we're talking about right here. Now, the second thing you want to do when you go back to that list to start to harvest that, you want to find out, are these fully improved properties? Now, let's talk about our lots, What is a fully improved lot? That means ready to build. Sewers, streets, cable, gutter, ready to go. Like some of you in like Florida, Arizona, Utah, a little bit in California, they have these subdivisions where you go in and there's a model home and you pick the lot that you have on and then build a house right there of one of their plans they have. That lot's ready to go, okay? And you say to yourself, well, why would somebody not pay taxes on that? I don't care. I just know that you can go in there and find those and one or two things that happen. You get a lot for really cheap or they're going to redeem and you're going to get the interest rate on it. So that's what's called a fully improved lot. I also want to know that there's current construction going on in that subdivision. So let's say that I find, 15 lots in a subdivision. The builder, for whatever reason, has gone out of business. That could have happened. And you've got these lots on there. I want to still make sure that there's construction going on in the area because I'm thinking of an exit strategy. If I do get this property, who am I going to sell it to? So if there's somebody building in the area, guess what? They're probably going to want to buy the lot from you. So there's a good exit strategy. I've been in subdivisions that I looked on paper. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is right in the outskirts of Houston. I was so excited about it. Went to look at the lots and they could have filmed an episode of The Walking Dead. Yes, it was fully improved. Yes, there were gutters and streets, but there were weeds going up everywhere. A trailer over here, another one over there. Nothing close to being current construction going on. So again, where's my exit strategy on that one? It's not going to happen. Somebody had a vision that didn't work. Okay, so you want to make sure of that. Now I want to see exactly what's happening in that subdivision. If it is in fact inside a gated community or some type of a subdivision like that, I want to know, are there any HOA dues and what are those? Are those stacking up on those? I've talked about those on other videos. Okay, although a tax lien or a tax deed supersede HOAs, they can be a pain in the ass. Anybody's ever lived in an HOA, you know what I'm talking about. The president of the HOA actually thinks they're the president of something, you know what I mean? Okay, so the HOA goes, no, we're not going to let our fees go. Technically, I can take them to court and wipe them out, but that costs what? Money and time. So I don't want to do that. Okay, I want to just kind of stay away from that. So I'm looking for that low-hanging fruit. So that is a fully improved lot. Here's another thing. I might not want to sell it to one of the builders over there. Maybe I build on the lot. So then you sit there and start talking about, well, what's it going to take to make this happen? Okay, if I've got this property over here and I'm going to build on this particular piece of property on it, what's it going to cost? Who are my contractors? What's selling in the area? Are there any CC&Rs? In other words, building restrictions within that subdivision? There's a lot of money in that, okay? The reason there are builders out there and they're building subdivisions is because they make a lot of money on it. You can be the same thing. Don't think that that's out of the realm of possibility. Okay, I'm doing it, my students are doing it, and so can you. Okay, so there's another option on that. Now here's something really cool. Let's get away from the subdivision. And let's just say I find some parcels out here and they're fully improved. They've got, power up to them. But where is the power? So when I'm doing things outside of a subdivision, this is very, very crucial. I need to understand, let's just talk about power. Where's the power? Is it literally in the back of the lot? Okay, why is that so important? Because if it's on the power pole and it's a couple lots down, I have to pay the power company to come bring it to my lot. Let's talk about water. Okay, is the water main right up to the front of the house? If it's not a big deal, but I have to pay per linear foot to get that. And that could be 3 or 4 or 5 houses down, and that could cost you $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 just to make that happen. Okay, so you've got power, you've got water, now you've got sewer. Is there city sewer up there? Am I using septic? Not a big deal, but if I've got this property, whoever I sell them or if I'm building, those are the things that I'm going to have to consider on that. So, look at, this lot over here could have a lot more value because it's closer to the power and the sewer, which goes to another item. Write this down. What is the value add of this property? In other words, let's go back to my subdivision. If I'm in a subdivision, maybe this lot's a little bigger because it's in a cul-de-sac. Maybe this one bucks up to the back of a national park or something, or a park, local park that nobody can build in. Maybe this one's got a pathway on the back of it, a bike path that you can get quick access to. Those are what you call value add on the property. Okay, let's get out of the subdivision, go to regular areas. You've heard me talk about Airbnbs, national parks, and what have you. So this is really cool. So one of the things that you're looking at is I see a lot, it might not be fully improved. Maybe there's no power nearby, but it's near a national park and there's no accommodations in that area. Some states, check the local rules and regulations, can say I can put up to 10 camping sites per 1 acre. And there's all these cool apps out there where campers go into a particular area. There's Hipster and there's a couple other hip camper where you go in there and they say, oh yeah, I've got 10 spots over here. You can put your tent up here for $50, $60 or whatever the case is. There's a lot of them around Bryce National Park, down in Moab, all these different places around the country. These are starting to pop up. Or somebody just has a big property and says, hey, we can put the RV in there. So you can make those things happen, but why wouldn't you be able to? In so much as I have a friend of mine that went a step further. He had 5 acres and he let cattle graze from the local rancher next door, which zeroed out his property taxes in that particular state just because he let cattle graze there. You can see why I get so excited about this. There's so many different opportunities out there, okay? So that's something outskirts. So know what you're doing. Remember, that has to have a particular exit strategy when it's not fully improved on that. Okay, let's go back to the fully improved, and we're in the city. And they're random lots on a very developed area of town. I've got some in Savannah. I've got a property right there, ready to build. There was a house on it. We ripped the house down. We got the property for $1,500. Okay, we paid another $3,000 to have all the stuff removed. Now we've got a nice lot in the middle of a developed area. What am I going to do? Tiny homes. Think about this. Prefab construction is not what it used to be. There are some beautiful designs out there. Literally, you can put a home on a property and that old Earl Shy in by 8, out by noon, if you've got the foundation set up the way they want and all the specs and everything, they'll come in at 8 o'clock in the morning, drop that house in there, bolt it down, all the water's hooked up, everything's ready to go. You latch key that thing, 4:30, you're good to go. Literally for under $100,000. They'll even finance it for you. So think about this. You've got a property in an already developed, mature neighborhood. You can go in there. You know what the values of the properties in the area. Can somebody come in and drop a prefab property inside there that's worth more money than you're paying for it because you're doing all the legwork on that, and they'll finance it? Your out-of-pocket cost on something like that is zero. These are the types of things you can do with land. There's a lot of money to be made. And if you want to learn more about it, I've got a brand new training on this, okay, that shows you step-by-step how to go through this process. Just hit the link down below, higginsmethod.com. And for those of you who go through that free training on it, I got a new book for you, America's Best Kept Secret on Investing. I'll send that book out to you. Everything's there for you. It's my gift to you for hanging out with me. Hit the subscribe button and you're good to go. God bless and good luck.